Baby, just a little longer. Once I'm divorced, I'll marry you. Through the phone, I heard Philip whispering endearments to another woman. What shocked me even more was that the woman turned out to be my lifelong best friend, Zoe. 5 years of marriage, and I'd thought he loved me. Turns out I was nothing but a stand-in. This time, I'll make them pay. Before we go on, please subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening. The screen glowed with a missed call icon. I stared at the familiar number and frowned. It was Philip's. I'd just come back from the hospital. The test results still folded in my hand. Pregnant, 6 weeks. It should have been good news. Philip and I had been trying for a child since our wedding 5 years ago. I called back, pulse racing, dying to tell him first. He picked up, but the voice that floated through wasn't his. It was a woman's, syrupy and coy. Phil, when are you finally dumping that washed-up wife of yours? I'm tired of waiting. My heart dropped. The phone almost slipped from my fingers. Baby, give me a little more time. Once I finish moving the company shares, I'll divorce her. Philip sounded careless. She's too dumb to notice anything anyway. But I'm already 2 months pregnant. My belly's going to show soon. Her voice cracked. You said you loved me. Why am I still your dirty little secret? I do love you. I'm working on it. Okay. He soothed. Trust me, the second the company is fully in my name, I'll serve her the papers. Then we'll have a huge wedding. She'll walk away with half your money, won't she? Nope. The firm was inherited from Dad. Nothing to do with her. Besides, I've been the breadwinner for 5 years. What could a housewife possibly claim? I bit my lips so hard I tasted iron, forcing myself to stay silent. 5 years ago, fresh out of college, I'd married Philip. I quit my job the next day to keep his home running. Meals cooked, shirts pressed. When his father died, Sterling Group was drowning in debt and weeks from bankruptcy. I emptied my dowry and borrowed from my parents to keep it afloat. That's how the company grew into the powerhouse it is today. And now he says it has nothing to do with me? Phil, I'm scared she'll find out about us. The woman kept whining. Yesterday I waited downstairs at your place, almost bumped into her. Relax. She's naive. She'll never suspect. Oh, and next week's her birthday. I'll take her out of town so you can move into the marital penthouse for a few days. Get a taste of being the lady of the house. Seriously, that's amazing, she squealed. I couldn't listen anymore. I hung up and collapsed onto the couch. So my 5-year marriage was nothing but a punchline to him. I was just a tool, useful, expendable. My phone buzzed, a WhatsApp message. It was from Zoe. Hey, babe, whatcha doing? Miss you. I stared at the text while the woman's voice replayed in my head. Something felt off. Too familiar. I opened her Instagram. 30 minutes earlier she'd posted a shot of a fresh manicure. New nails. Cute? I remembered hearing the unmistakable buzz of a nail drill in the background of that phone call. My hands began to shake. No, not Zoe. She'd been my roommate since freshman year. She knew every secret I owned. She couldn't betray me. I forced myself to breathe and replay the conversation. She'd said she was 2 months pregnant. Zoe had been nauseated lately, blaming a work stress. She'd been near our building yesterday. Zoe had texted she was in the neighborhood, then cancelled. And that cutesy tone. The way she drawled Phil, exactly how Zoe spoke when she flirted. My chest tightened. The walls felt like they were closing in. If it really was Zoe, how had she watched me these 5 years? Listening to me gush about Philip, watching me glow over every crumb of affection, applauding me like an idiot, directing my own marriage. The phone rang again. Philip. I inhaled, accepted the call. Hey, sweetheart, saw your missed call. Meeting ran late. Everything okay? He sounded perfectly normal, as if nothing had happened. Just missed you. I managed. Gotta burn the midnight oil tonight. Don't wait up. All right. Love you. After he hung up, I looked at the ultrasound photo. Tears finally spilling. I was pregnant, but my husband already had another woman, and another baby on the way. And that woman might be the friend I trusted most. I shredded the photo and dropped it in the trash. This child would not be born into lies. The next morning I got up early and made Philip breakfast as if nothing were wrong. Big strategy session today. Might have to fly out tomorrow, he said between bites. Where to? I asked. Chicago. For a deal. He didn't even look up. I nodded. No follow-ups. The moment his car pulled away, I called Leo. Leo and I had shared a statistics class. He now ran his own PI firm in New York. We rarely chatted, but I knew his reputation. Sophie. Long time, he answered. Surprised. I need you to look into Philip, I said with without preamble. A short silence. If we're at that stage, the marriage is probably, I know. I cut in. I just want the truth. Send me what you've got. I'll move fast. I spent the next hour compiling everything. Sterling Group's corporate registry, our joint accounts, photos, travel schedules, and the timestamps of yesterday's transfer screenshots. 5 years ago Sterling had been a crumbling 3-person outfit. I'd funneled in 200 grand of my own cash. Now Forbes valued it near 50 million, yet the marital account had been almost drained. Where had the money gone? I forwarded the transaction logs to Leo. That afternoon Zoe rang. Soft. Free today. Come shopping with me. She sounded giddy. What for? Maternity clothes. She laughed. I'm pregnant. My knuckles went white around the phone. Wow. Congrats. Who's the dad? I kept my voice light. Let me keep the mystery for now. He's amazing and we're getting married soon. I closed my eyes, inhaled, and said, sure, I'll come. 2 hours later we met at Riverside Plaza in Manhattan. Zoe glowed. Cheeks pink. Eyes sparkling. She hugged me like always. You look tired, babe. Rough night? She asked. Concerned. Couldn't sleep, I muttered. Inside the boutique she held up a pink sundress. He loves me in pink. Very cute, I said. How long have you two been together? Almost 2 years. At first he was hesitant, but now he says he'll file for divorce and marry me. That phrase, file for divorce, felt like a blade. Has she figured it out? I kept probing. Not a clue. She's oblivious. Zoe snorted. Honestly, I don't know what he ever saw in her. Maybe love? I offered. Love? She laughed. If it was love, he wouldn't be with me. She's just housekeeper and arm candy. I'm the one he loves. I leaned against a rack. Dizzy. Soft. You okay? You're white as a sheet. Lightheaded, I mumbled, and stumbled to a bench outside. It was official. The man she described was Philip. My best friend had seduced my husband and was carrying his child, and they both thought I was too stupid to notice. I texted Leo, rush job, evidence ASAP. He pinged back, understood. Deliver in 72 hours. I re-entered the store wearing a smile. For the next hour I played the supportive friend while Zoe chose 3 outfits. At checkout she whipped out a black tier American Express. The embossed name read, Philip Sterling. So that's where our savings had gone. He'd bankrolled his mistress. Nice card, I said casually. Supplementary. He tells me to splurge. She beamed. He treats me like a queen. I nodded, outwardly calm, inwardly drafting the first chapter of their downfall. Let them believe I was a fool. I'd gather every receipt, every text, every timestamp. When the file was complete, their empire would implode. That night I waited in the living room, lights low. At 10:30 the lock clicked. Philip stepped in, surprised to see me. Hey, you're still up. He dropped beside me, arms sliding around my shoulders. I suppressed a shudder. How was the meeting? Solid. Flying to Chicago tomorrow. How long? About a week. Big project. I nodded. I'll pack for you. Don't bother. I'll buy stuff there. He waved it off. By the way, when I get back we're going away for your birthday. Just us. Yeah. Where? Maldives. You've always wanted to go. I squealed and grabbed his arm like an excited puppy. You're the best husband ever. He kissed my forehead. Your smile's all I need. Watching that tenderness, I almost gagged. Next morning he rolled his suitcase out the door, promising souvenirs. I locked the door, poured a second cup of coffee, and opened a fresh folder on my laptop labeled insurance. Checkmate would take time, but I'd already moved the first pawn. The second he walked out the door, Leo called. Sophie, we've got movement. His voice was low, tense. Philip never left for Chicago. He's checked into a 5-star downtown, the Plaza Hotel. With who? I asked, though I already knew. Zoe. Leo exhaled. I've got photos. They're all over each other. Send them. Seconds later my phone buzzed. Frame 1. Philip and Zoe hand in hand under the porte-cochere. Her in exactly the baby pink sundress I'd helped her pick out yesterday. Frame 2. Philip sliding a black card across the reception desk while Zoe curls into his arm. Glowing. Frame 3. Candlelit table. Philip feeding her a forkful of sea bass. Both wearing the careless smiles of people who think they've already won. My heart didn't break. It flatlined. Sophie, you hanging in? Leo asked. I'm perfect, I said. Stay on them. Log every minute. Copy that. And there's more, he added. After you two got married, Philip started moving Sterling equity offshore. You're down to 15%. Excuse me? The room tilted. I bankrolled that company. I should be majority. You signed a promissory note, not a share purchase agreement, Leo said. On On paper you're a lender, not an owner. The words hit like a concussion. I remembered Philip pushing documents at me, cupping my cheek, murmuring, just formalities. Babe, I'd signed without reading. Can I claw it back? If the company stays solvent, maybe, but if he torches it, unsecured creditors get scraps. I shut my eyes. The ceiling spun. Adultery was amateur hour. He'd already emptied the vault. Find out when the transfers started. I whispered, month by month. Already digging. I sagged onto the sofa. 5 years of playing house. And I'd married a con man in a tailored suit. I opened WhatsApp and scrolled to Zoe. Time to audit my so-called best friend. 2 years back she'd asked, Soph, what's Phil's favorite cologne? I'd cheerfully typed the answer. Thinking birthday gift. Another day. What time does he usually leave the office? Let's double date. I'd sent his schedule. Every fight Philip and I had. Zoe materialized with tissues and he's under so much pressure. She praised his ambition, probed our sex life, called him Prince Charming in cufflinks. Intelligence gathering, camouflaged as concern. A new bubble popped up. Soph. Morning sickness is brutal. Rain check on shopping? Morning sickness. While she was checked in under Philip's name. I smirked. Feel better. Hun, I typed back. Then I opened a fresh note and titled it, War Plan. If they wanted a harmless housewife, I'd keep the costume on until the knife was in and twisted. For the next few days, I was a Stepford wife. Balanced meals, 8 hours of sleep, kissy emojis to Philip on Chicago time. He answered on cue, back-to-back meetings. Baby, miss you more. Leo's daily logs told the real story. Champagne room service, afternoon matinees. Zoe in the same silk robe I'd gifted her last Christmas. Zoe's excuses kept coming. Migraines. Doctor ordered bed rest. Prenatal vitamins. I answered each with sympathy stickers and praying hands gifts. Meanwhile, I mapped every asset Philip owned. 2 Manhattan penthouses. A beach house in the Hamptons, 3 cars, a 7-figure brokerage cash, every dollar seeded with my money. Wire records showed steady outbound drips to Grand Cayman. Classic smash and grab with a passport. I called Maya, my cousin who worked as a divorce attorney in Boston. Right now you walk away with creditors' table scraps. She warned, unless we can prove fraudulent inducement, he planned the shell game before I do. Define proof, I said. Emails, memos, backdated deeds, offshore incorporation dates that predate the wedding. Show intent. We invalidate the promissory note and reopen the marital pot. My pulse steadied. Start the subpoena clock. That night I opened a spreadsheet labeled Exhibit A and began dragging 5 years of life into cells. Bank transfers, board resolutions, selfies with geotags, voice notes. Every contract I'd blindly countersigned. 3 days later Philip came home tanned and triumphant. Duty-free bag swinging. Honey, I'm back. He lifted me off the ground, closed the Chicago pivot, Maldives tickets booked. First class. Overwater villa. We're celebrating you. I squealed like a lottery winner. He called me adorable. Bedtime. He reached for me. I mentally gagged. Then smiled. Strategic intimacy. Tax-deductible revenge. My birthday dawned. Philip made heart-shaped pancakes. Presented a velvet box. A diamond pendant that cost more than most cars. Tonight, he promised. Candlelit dinner. Tomorrow. Sunrise over the Indian Ocean. I blinked back glycerin tears. Perfect performance. At noon Zoe texted, Happy B-Day, sis. Still nauseous or I'd race over. Brunch on me when I'm human again. I answered, rest up, little mama, then pinged Leo. Green light tonight. Lou Jardin. The same corner banquet where he'd proposed. Candlelight licked crystal. A string quartet sought out Vivaldi. Philip raised his glass. To 5 years and forever. Company's autonomous now. I'm all yours. I tilted my head. Autonomous? Profits roll in whether I'm at my desk or feeding you grapes on a sun lounger. He clinked my flute. I smiled like a woman already tanning. My phone buzzed. Leo, 8 o'clock. IRS insertion complete. Powder room. I mouthed. Philip squeezed my hand. Go. Hurry back. Near the maitre d', stand Leo waited in suit and tie, flanked by 2 federal agents. I brushed past, whispered, table 7, kept walking. When I returned Philip was frowning at his screen. The SP ticker was the least of his worries. On cue the quartet muted. Agents in dark jackets parted the sea of linen and silver. Philip Sterling, the lead badge flashed. IRS criminal investigation. We have reason to believe Sterling Group engaged in willful tax evasion and offshore concealment. We need you to come with us. Gasps rippled through the dining room. Phones snapped up like periscopes. Philip's jaw twitched. He managed a conciliatory chuckle. Gentlemen, surely this can wait until after my wife's birthday. Now, sir. I widened my eyes. Hand to chest. Honey, what is happening? Just a mix-up. he said, voice brittle. I'll fix it at the office. The agent added, and we're freezing 96 accounts pursuant to Title 26. Sign here. Philip's signature, once a flourish, shook like Parkinson's. They escorted him through a gauntlet of camera phones. I followed, crocodile tears shimmering. Outside, agents guided him into a black Suburban. He looked back once, Prince Charming in cuffs. I lifted a trembling hand. The picture of the devoted wife. The door slammed. End of Act 1. The next day Zoe raced to my place. Face ashen. Have you seen the news? She wailed. Philip's all over social media. They're saying he's suspected of tax fraud. It's a felony. I sobbed. If they prove it, what am I supposed to do? Zoe's face twitched. That won't happen. You're overthinking. I studied her expression and caught the tell. She already knew about Philip's dirty books, which meant my best friend wasn't only my husband's lover, she was his accomplice. Zoe, if Philip really goes down, should I divorce him? I asked, feeling her out. Divorce? Panic flickered in her eyes. How can you even think that? Couples are supposed to stick together in a crisis. But I could be implicated, I said. If he broke the law, the wife always gets splattered. Sophie, don't be selfish. Zoe snapped. Philip adores you. He's given this family everything. And the minute he hits trouble you want to bail? I almost laughed at her righteous act. She cared more about Philip than I. The actual wife did. You're right. I shouldn't think like that. I dropped my gaze. I'm just terrified. Zoe softened. I get it. But trust Philip. He'll be fine. That night she stayed late to comfort me. The instant the door shut behind her I speed-dialed Leo. How's it rolling? I asked. Smooth. IRS has enough ammunition. Philip's going to be tied up in this for a long time. Timeline? If the numbers hold. Minimum 3 years plus 7-figure fines, Leo said. His company's toast. Keep me posted, I said. Next morning the jail phone flashed. Philip, babe, I won't be home for a while. His voice was sandpaper. Take care of yourself. How bad? Messy. But I'll handle it. Listen, stash the marriage records and the deed somewhere safe. Don't let anyone near them. Why? People might use them against us. Translation. Don't hand evidence to investigators. If anyone comes snooping, dummy up. Got it. When will you be back? No idea. He sounded close to tears. I'm sorry about the Maldives trip. We'll go when you're out, I soothed. The second I hung up I went to work. I rounded up every vital paper. Both deeds, the marriage certificate, every contract, every promissory note. Then I read them line by line, and found the landmine of our 2 condos. One deed carried only Philip's name, this one, the marital penthouse. I'd paid, but he'd claimed sole ownership would streamline the mortgage. Another snare. I called Maya. New wrinkle, I said, and laid out the deed situation. Problem, Maya confirmed. If his name's alone on title, it's legally his separate property, not marital. My money built it. Proof. Wire transfers. Cancelled checks, full bank trail. I transferred from my personal account. Print 5 years of statements, Maya said. That paper is gold. That afternoon I sat in the bank branch lobby while the printer spat pages of decimals, row after row. My life's earnings, everything I'd funneled into the Sterling's fairy tale. And Philip had played me for a fool. News that Philip had been cuffed blazed through our social circle. Sympathy texts and missed calls flooded in, most of them popcorn emojis in disguise. The surprise visitor, my mother-in-law, Eleanor. From day one she decided I wasn't good enough for her prince. After her husband died she'd retreated to the Sterling ancestral estate in upstate New York, staying conveniently absent until now. Sophie, how's Philip? She demanded the moment she stepped inside. Mom, try not to worry. Maya says the charges aren't airtight. I handed her water. Long drive. You must be tired. She looked me up and down. What are you going to do? I'll wait for him. Wait, how long? Her voice climbed. Be realistic. If he serves time you'll throw your youth away. Cut loose while you still can, before there are children. I blinked. I hadn't expected honesty. What are you saying? Divorce. Simple. Better for both of you. I met her eyes and almost smiled. She wasn't protecting me. She was circling the assets. I won't divorce him. Mom, whatever happens, I'm staying. Her face puckered. Don't make me cruel. These 5 years, what have you contributed? You lived off my son. Now that he's in trouble you should be gracious. How can you say that? I emptied my savings so Philip could scale the company. That little? She sniffed. Philip's success is his own genius. I inhaled, ditching the masquerade. What did Philip tell you to say? I asked quietly. She flinched. I'm thinking of you. Of me? or his balance sheet. Insolent girl, she spat. We treated you well. Let's audit kindness. I spread the bank statements on the coffee table. She stared, color draining. 6 million. I said, that's my 5-year investment, and I still don't own a single roof. It can't be. Call him. Ask if he dares deny it. Silence. Finally, since you won't see the money again, walk away now. Spare yourself. I don't care about the money, I said. I care about fair. She left gray-faced, warning over her shoulder. Don't gouge Philip when he's down. I locked the door and dialed Maya. He's prepping for divorce, Maya said. Using mommy as emissary while he sits in Rikers Island counting on you to quit and waive division. What now? Stall the divorce. Keep gathering bullets. Proof he looted. Proof he cheated. Proof he defrauded you. Stack them high, then we fire. That night Zoe dropped by again. You look wrecked, she murmured. What happened? Philip's mother wants me to file, I said, voice quavering. She says he could get years. Zoe's lashes fluttered. Why would she? I don't know how I'll live alone if he's locked up. Divorce is betrayal. Zoe squeezed my hand. I'll be here, whatever comes. I marveled at her conviction, the mistress urging the wife to stay married. Zoe, would you come with me to Rikers? I'm scared to face him alone. Her pupils dilated. Is that allowed? You're my rock. Philip likes you. Seeing you will lift his spirits. She hesitated, hungry curiosity winning. Of course. 2 mornings later we signed in at the detention center. When the guard ushered us to the battered table, Philip's gaze landed on Zoe and flickered. Shock. Fear. Forced calm. Babe, why bring Zoe? His tone scraped. I needed strength, I said. She's been amazing. Telling me you'll skate through this. Philip risked a look. Zoe studied the floor. Thank you, Zoe, he mumbled. For 30 minutes we performed a clumsy play, me the clueless wife, him the polite acquaintance, Zoe a silent prop nodding at intervals. After the visitation ended, we walked out of Rikers. Zoe, you were awfully quiet today, I said. It's nothing. Seeing Philip like that just hurts. Zoe's voice wavered. He's lost so much weight. I know. My heart twisted too. I sighed. But he said it's not serious. He'll be out soon. Zoe nodded, yet a flicker of dread crossed her eyes. I knew she wasn't worrying about his health. She was worrying about the charges. If Philip really went to prison, their whole fairy tale would collapse. Back home, I rang Leo for an update. How's the case moving? I asked. The evidence file is locked and loaded. The DA's pressing forward. Leo paused. Philip hired heavy hitter Charles Cohen, angling for a not guilty plea. Any real shot? Almost zero. Paper trails too clean. Leo exhaled. Might shave off a year or 2. That's it. I murmured thanks. Stay on it. Call me the second anything shifts. That night, while organizing exhibits, my phone lit up with an unknown number. Is this Sophie? A man asked. Speaking. Who's calling? Charles Cohen, Philip's attorney. I'd like to meet and discuss his defense. My pulse skipped. When? Tomorrow afternoon at my office on Park Avenue and 52nd? I'll be there. Next day, I stepped into Charles's glass-walled conference room. He was 40-something, shark smile polished. Ms. Sterling, have a seat. He gestured. I need background on your husband's finances. What exactly? The alleged tax fraud is massive. If proven, he's looking at years. Charles leaned in. If we can justify the cash flows as legitimate business expenses, we soften the landing. I'll need your help. Help how? Household expenses, investment logs, contracts, anything that shows normal movement of funds. Charles folded his hands. Your signature on a few declarations would clinch it. I saw the play. He wanted me to bail Philip out. Mr. Cohen, of course I want to help. I let worry cloud my eyes, but I barely touched the company books. No worries, just sign these. He slid a stack across the mahogany. They state your capital injections were joint marital investments, not loans. That undercuts intent to defraud. I skimmed the pages. Every clause protected Philip, not me. Signing would brand my life savings as community money. Unrecoverable. I'll need time to think. Time is scarce. Ms. Sterling, decide quickly. His smile thinned. Remember, if Philip goes down, the company folds, and you'll inherit zero. A threat. Gift wrapped. I'll review everything and call you, I said. Standing outside, I speed dialed Maya. Do not sign, she barked before I finished. Those papers are a bear trap. Ink them and you kiss every stolen dollar. Goodbye. My thoughts exactly. Philip's planning for the worst. Expect more kitchen sink tactics, Maya warned. Sure enough, Philip rang that night. Babe, Charles says you came by. His voice was sandpaper rough. Did you sign? Still thinking. I want to understand every clause. What's to understand? His volume spiked. I'm your husband. You're supposed to have my back without a second thought. I'm trying to be prudent. Prudence? He snorted. Sophie, I'm starting to wonder if you even love me anymore. If you did, you'd sign. I almost almost laughed out loud. Love, where was that virtue when he and Zoe were tangled in hotel sheets? Philip, I do love you, I said sweetly, but these documents are serious. I need another day. Tomorrow is the hearing. We're out of days. He exhaled hard. Answer me. Are you going to help or not? I let the silence stretch, then answered, I can't sign. You'll regret this, he hissed. And the line went dead. I stared at the black screen, feeling nothing but the chill of final clarity. Court convened on schedule. As next of kin, I had the right to sit behind the railing, but I stayed home and sent Leo instead. That afternoon my phone buzzed. 4-year sentence. $8 million fine. All assets frozen. Relief flooded me, stronger than champagne. 4 years meant I could breathe. The fine and freeze gave me room to claw back every cent. Was Zoe in the gallery? I asked Leo. Front row. When the gavel fell, she burst into mascara rivers. Looks like she actually loved him. I snorted. Love. She loved the black tier Amex. That night she showed up at my door. Eyes swollen. Cheeks streaked. Sophie. For years. What do we do? She collapsed against me. I'm devastated too, I murmured, patting her back. But we have to face reality. No. She jerked away. Philip's a good man. There has to be an appeal. Zoe, calm down. The court found him guilty. He did it. How can you say that about your own husband? Her voice cracked with anger. Don't you even care? I tilted my head. Why are you more upset than I am? She caught herself, gulping air. I just hate seeing you both destroyed. For the next hour she begged me to fund an appellate lawyer. Hire the best in the country, she urged. Philip's innocent. He can't rot for 4 years. Lawyers cost, and everything we own is frozen. I'll lend you the money. Her purse was already open. I've saved. We'll get him out. I faked gratitude. Zoe, that's generous. But you work hard for every dollar. Forget it. We're sisters. Her eyes shone. Philip's my friend too. Friend. The word tasted rancid. Zoe, let me ask you something. I kept my tone soft. Do you have feelings for Philip? Her face drained of color. What? Simple question. Do you love my husband? She clamped her mouth shut. Breath sawed in and out. I walked to the coffee table and lifted a slim folder. The photos inside spilled across glass. Candid shots of hotel check-ins, champagne toasts, hallway kisses, each time-stamped. Irrevocable. Zoe's legs buckled. She sank into the sofa. Sophie, let me explain. Explain how you seduced him, or how you're carrying his child. Tears dripped off her chin. You know everything. Every wire transfer. Every late-night cab ride. Every lie. I crossed my arms. You wanted him to bankrupt me, divorce me, and crown you Mrs. Sterling. Congratulations. Your king is now inmate number 057214. And the treasury is locked. She hugged herself, sobbing. So, I went on mercilessly. What happens to the baby? Philip can't even post bail. Think he'll still marry you from a cell? Zoe broke. Great racking howls that shook her shoulders. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She choked. Sorry? I echoed. 2 years ago you started asking what cologne he wore. Remember? That kind of sorry? Her only answer was the sound of a dream cracking, shard by shard, on my living room floor. So you decided you could play the other woman with a clear conscience, and got pregnant with his kid too? I thought he was going to divorce you. Zoe cried. He said he didn't love you, that your marriage was just going through the motions. Hearing that, I actually laughed. Zoe, you're still so naive, I said. You think a man ever tells his mistress the truth? If he really didn't love me, why would he bother moving all that money around? He was making sure that when the two of you flew off into the sunset, I wouldn't get a cent. Zoe froze. Clearly she'd never thought that far. Well, now he has nothing left, I said. Are you still going to stick with him? She stayed silent for a long time, then finally asked, Sophie, what do you want from me? I don't want anything, I said. I just want you to know betrayal has a price. The next day I officially retained Maya and filed for property division. With the evidence you've given us, we have an excellent chance of clawing back your investment, Maya said. Plus, Philip's transfers of marital assets constitute a violation, so you can demand full compensation. How long will it take? About 6 months. The court's procedure takes time, Maya replied, but brace yourself, Philip will counterattack. Sure enough, 2 days later I got a call from Charles. Ms. Sterling, Philip has asked me to discuss the property settlement, Charles said. He hopes we can resolve this privately. What's there to discuss? I asked coldly. The court will give a fair ruling. Ms. Sterling, be realistic, Charles threatened. Philip is penniless. Even if the judgment is in your favor, you won't collect much. Better that both sides step back. Step back? I laughed. I've been stepping back for 5 years. Now it's his turn. Are you sure? Charles's voice hardened. Let me remind you, Philip knows a few things that could hurt you, such as certain irregularities you committed while handling the company's finances, Charles hinted. I understood. Philip wanted to frame me, claim I joined him in tax evasion. Mr. Cohen, you're mistaken, I said calmly. I've never touched the company's books, and every shred of evidence proves it. Really? Then how do you explain these documents? Charles sounded confident. What documents? Financial statements bearing your signature, proving you knew and approved the maneuvers. I went quiet for a few seconds, then chuckled. Mr. Cohen, are you talking about these? I held up my phone and sent him several photos. They were contracts stamped with my name. Exactly, Charles said smugly. Too bad they're forgeries, I replied. I have a handwriting analysis report confirming the signatures are fakes. Silence on the line. Also, I added, I have recordings of Philip instructing someone to copy my handwriting. If you dare submit those papers in court, I'll file a police report the same day. Charles's confidence evaporated. Ms. Sterling, perhaps there's been a misunderstanding. There's no misunderstanding, I cut in. Tell Philip if he wants to set me up, he'll have to do better than this. After hanging up, I texted Leo. Philip's fighting back, step up surveillance. Moments later Leo answered, Roger. Also, Zoe tried to visit Philip at Rikers yesterday. Visitation denied. I wasn't surprised. Philip wouldn't want to see her now, he couldn't give her the life she expected. And Zoe was tasting the cost of betrayal. That afternoon I unexpectedly received a call from Zoe. Sophie, can we meet? Her voice sounded hollow. Say what you need over the phone. I want to apologize in person, she said. And there are things you should know. In the end I agreed. 2 hours later I walked into Sunflower Café and saw her. She'd lost weight. Her face was pale. Every trace of her old sparkle gone. Sophie, thank you for coming, she said the moment she sat, apologizing non-stop. I know words are useless, but I'm sorry. And, I asked evenly. I want to tell you things, she said, inhaling, about Philip. For the next hour she poured out details I'd never heard. Philip had had women even before we married. I'd been handpicked as the good wife. He chose me because my family was comfortable. I was naive, easily controlled. As for Zoe, it wasn't love, just spice. He never loved either of us, she said with a bitter smile. We were nothing but tools. You're only realizing that now? Yes. When he was arrested, I tried to see him and was told I'm not family, no visitation rights. She laughed at herself. That's when I understood, legally, I'm nothing. What about the baby? I've decided, she said, resting a hand on her bump, not to keep it. I didn't try to talk her out of it. It was her choice. Sophie, there's more, she added. Philip still has an offshore account, 2 million in it. My eyes lit up. How do you know? He told me it was our future nest egg, she said wryly. Now I'm giving you every number and password. It's the last thing I can do for you. With those details in hand I called Maya at once. This is huge, Maya exclaimed. If we can attach that account, you'll recover everything, and then some. What's the next step? I'll petition the court to freeze the Cayman account and have the money declared marital property. A week later Manhattan Family Court opened the division trial. Philip was brought in. When he saw me his eyes blazed. Sophie, you're really going this far, he hissed. Going far? I laughed softly. Who betrayed the marriage? Who funneled the money first? I gave you everything, mansion, cars, designer bags. What more did you want? You bought those with my own money, I said, still pretending. Philip, 3 hours later the verdict came down. Philip must repay my 6 million investment plus 5 years interest. 1.8 million more. The 2 million in the Cayman account was ruled marital property. I receive half. Of our 2 condos, I keep one. Total haul, 17.8 million plus a 5 million loft, far beyond what I'd hoped. When the judge finished, Philip's face turned the color of ash. Happy now, Sophie? He asked in despair. Very, I said calmly. This is the price of betrayal. Leaving the courtroom I spotted Zoe in the gallery. She looked at me with envy and release. A month later the checks cleared, and the divorce certificate arrived. 5 years of marriage, finished. Epilogue. 2 springs later I sat in my own cafe. Sunlight pouring through the windows. I'd opened Sunflower Cafe with part of the settlement. Business is brisk. I've remembered how to laugh, how to treasure solitude. Boss, someone's here for you, my barista called. I glanced up. A woman I didn't recognize hovered by the door, around 30, simply dressed, clearly nervous. Are you Sophie? She asked softly. Approaching. I am. And you are? My name's Lena. I was Philip's girlfriend before you. She sat. He's out. My pulse skipped. His sentence should indeed be ending. What's he doing? Job at some tiny firm in Queens. $3,000 a month. She said. He contacted me. Wanted us back together. I refused. Why come to me? To warn you, she said earnestly. He's broke and bitter. He might do something extreme. I nodded. Thanks for telling me. After she left I stared into my coffee. Would he come for me? 3 days later I had the answer. Sophie, let's meet. A WhatsApp message from Philip. I hesitated, then typed, All right. At 7 that night, I walked into an ordinary diner in Brooklyn and saw the post-prison version of my ex-husband. Gaunt, hair half gray. He looked 10 years older. I didn't think you'd come, he said bitterly. Say what you came to say. He studied the table for a long time. I know I was wrong, and I'm asking for your forgiveness. These 2 years I've regretted everything. Regret getting caught. You mean, or regret you couldn't steal the last cent? Red crept up his neck. Sophie, you have to believe me. I really am sorry. Believe you? I stood. This dinner is our true ending. From now on we're strangers. Sophie, wait. He scrambled up. We can start over. Start over? I turned. With what qualification? I have nothing now, but I'll work. Give you the life you want again, he pleaded. I'm already living the life I want, without you, I said. Wake up, Philip. It's impossible. I walked out without looking back. On the street, I felt ridiculously light. 5 years of marriage, 2 years of pain, over at last. From today on I live for myself. My phone buzzed. Sophie, it's Leo. Dinner to celebrate your new life? I smiled. My treat. Looking up at the star-filled sky, I drew a long, free breath. Life is beautiful. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the story, please like and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more compelling tales. See you next time.